Hello my lovely people! It is a little bit of a different video today. This is a totally different setup than I usually use. So I've got my camera, I've got my computer, and I've got my computer audio. So this is basically my live streaming setup. But I really wanted to talk to you about the new Modular has been released. No, I don't have a physical copy, sadly. However, I do think it's a really interesting little chat that I wanted to have because I am kind of the building modular person, so I felt like I kind of want to talk about it, even though, you know, it's always, every time this gets released, there are so many videos about it. I've not actually consumed any of them just yet, so this is just my initial thoughts. I just kind of wanted to look at this modular in detail and kind of just give my opinions, give my thoughts, which you can completely discard as you please because they're literally just my thoughts about what I like, so if you think that's useful to you, then awesome, let's stay. If you're like, I don't need to hear your thoughts, lady, then cool, bye-bye. It's that time of year, I suppose. First of all, I also wanted to show off this really cool jumper. Yes, I am aware of the pun, which is why I bought it. If you know, you know. Let's get a look at this modular. So let's change my setup and have a little look. So I think I have preloaded everything. So this is kind of like a half a live stream, but it's not live. Hopefully you like this format. We'll find out, I'm sure. Ta-da! I really hope that was as smooth as it appeared to me. Obviously, as every year, we are going to be having a new modular building from Lego. I'm very into them, I love them, they're beautiful. Very excited to be getting a new one. Although I currently don't have a city set up, I'm just excited to get a new modular and like build new things. So like I'm coming into this from like a very big fan of the modular range of buildings, and really what I wanted to look for is like a new feel. And I just wanted to also preface this with, everybody knows like you just put a lot of expectations on these things, and really I think, and I found this in the previous years as well, like whatever comes out is either yeah, alright, or oh, that's not what I was expecting. It's never, oh my god, this is amazing, or at least not for me, because like I'm expecting it to be amazing, so the bar's really high. When I initially saw the first picture, which was this picture, just slightly blurrier, I was like, okay, that was not what I was expecting, but I kind of like it, but also there's something that doesn't make me like go, oh my god, this is amazing. It made me go, interesting. So obviously we have a very interesting angle on both of the buildings here. You can just about sort of see it a little bit here, that there is sort of like a bridge, like it goes underneath. The buildings connect on the first floor or the second floor if you reckon. And I kind of really like that. It's very playful. It kind of has that feel of like the alleyway Ninjago thing to me. I don't know if I like the colours. I think the colours are the issue for me. Individually, I like these colours, and with the colour combination that they're in, I normally would also pair them. I think my main problem is a very big word here. Problem with it is there is a lot of colours, and I think it's a little bit too much. Because you've got sort of like the first smaller building, which you've got the like the dark tan and the tan, which is, I think is a really nice colour combination. I've done a mock with the same colour combination, so clearly I like that enough. But then you've got the windows, which are white, but then there is a brown, like a reddish brown frame in it, and then there's a dark grey and light grey roof detailing, and then underneath is dark orange, and then with that colourful awning and dark, and all of a sudden it's and. It doesn't 100% gel. I think even just making the white either tan or dark tan, depending on which bit of white we're looking at, even if you kept the frame itself brown, just make the rest just tan, and then this light white stripe there, if you made that maybe just also dark tan. I think they've done the white to tie the other building back to this building colour scheme wise, but it's a bit too much for me. Alternatively, maybe it's a dark orange. The dark orange is a choice. This is my problem with it. I actually really like every single one of these colours in buildings. I've used all of them for mocks, so as an individual colour, I think it's great. It's just something is just not quite gelling for me. And then same if you go to the big building, which is like a music store, as far as I'm aware. I think the tan detailing here on this tower and at the top here is, again, I think I probably would have preferred that to just be white. Luckily all of those things are quite small things, so I'm pretty sure I could just change that if I wanted to. But it's sort of like, that's I think what makes it a little bit busy, because you've got a lot of colours going on. There's just a huge amount to look at, and I'm not saying this is in the same tier for me, but it's a little bit like what we had with the Jazz Cafe. It's like my eyes don't walk over it comfortably. It kind of goes, which bit is screaming for attention the loudest? I like the colour scheme better. I love the shape of this. I think this is much more my style and the things that I like. But it's still a little bit too busy for me. The other thing that really bothered me, and I don't know if people agree with me, this is probably silly, there is these like planters like underneath the windows, and the slopes are downwards. I want them to be the other way around. I want the slope to be up. I'm sorry. I don't know. That makes sense in my head. It would look nicer in my opinion. I can't justify it. I have no good reason for it. I just want the planters to be the other way around. Luckily, obviously, you could just switch that and that's fine. Like, that's a super easy change to make. I think this roof detailing here is really cool. So I like the roof detailing here. I think this is really quite nice. This is different. Which sounds like I don't like it. I don't dislike it. I think I may like it better in person, but then there's a lot of different colours. All of this together feels really messy. It has sort of the same design language, but at the same time, everything together, again, has that sort of like screaming for attention detail. Designing a modular must be so much pressure because there's so many eyes on this, and also we have seen so many amazing mocks. Some that like maybe utilize similar techniques or have a similar feel, and I think it's sort of nearly impossible to design a modular now that is going to be uniformly liked. I don't think anything that LEGO does is uniformly liked. Nothing anybody does is uniformly liked. I absolutely think that this is a super difficult job for anybody that did it. So this is my opinion. I'm not saying that my opinion is right. I'm sure there's people that really love this. I'm sure there's people that really hate this, as with any set that comes out. So yeah, if you just kind of have a look at the rest of the building, I think there is just a lot of other colours going on. So quite apart from where they're trying to tie the buildings together with the colour scheme, the green is really nice with the white, but then there is like these really bright red awnings, which I think are too bright. I think maybe the double issue for me here is they're small and they're very bright. So I don't know if it just needed them. I think it would have been maybe more elegant without. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe I would have made them dark green. There are changes I can make myself, which in a kind of way I quite like, because the Tudor corner modular is really lovely and I absolutely adore that thing, and I didn't change anything about it because I didn't have the urge to change anything about it. Whereas this one does have things I want to change about it, but they're small, and I think that's kind of like the perfect comfort zone for like a modular to be, because I really like mocking modulars or sets. It's nice when they're small changes and they're like cosmetic and they're easy things to do that don't cost the earth, but kind of mean that I can enhance the set, so I get the building experience and then the enhancing experience. So in a kind of way, this is quite fun. I love the dovecot. I think it's really cute. I really like that we're getting a furniture store. I'm a bit mad at the music store. I like that we get in a bit of an apartment. I really don't like this tower. That's a very strong word, Hannah. I very much dislike this gold top, which I think feels cheap, and I wish it was just the same colour as the roof, because there's just so many colours going on and it's just a bit too much for me. I love the little colours of the flowers. I love that the flowers on this side of the building tie this awning back together ish. But let's just like look at more pictures, because I've been on this one for ages. So hey, the box, very cute. It's called Shopping Street. Wow, inspired name, but whatever. It's not displayed on the actual set, so I don't really mind. I have to say, something about seeing the box art makes me really want to have this in my hands, but hey, it's all good. So here we see another angle of this building, which I think is perfect because it's really helpful to sort of see that really cool like underpass here under the building. I really, really, really love this shape. We've seen several angles, but I really love that we're getting a double angle building with that walk under, so you kind of like, it's not a corner building, but it feels like it could be a corner building, but it gives you that really nice look into this square. And I think that's what I liked about Assembly Square. Even though the buildings there were square, like actually like rectangulars, this one's really angled, so it's in a smaller footprint, but you still get that like really nice self-contained feel. I really like the shape of it, I have to say. I'm also really excited to find out the building technique used. I'm sure some of you watching will know because you'll have watched the reviews where they talk about it. I kind of don't want to know until I do it myself, I have to be honest. Also, you can't really tell in this pictures very well, but I really like that they used a new dumpling slash gyoza piece to have the detailing above the window. That made me laugh. I thought that was fun. Then here we have a overview of the different floors. Again, quite excited to see like several floors that we can do. We've got that, which looks beautiful. Oh my god, look! It's a pigeon. I actually haven't got any pigeons. I don't own any, so I'm excited to get some. This is obviously the Tudor corner on this side, but this is a good moment to talk about this really beautiful printed round window. I really like it. It's beautiful. I'm not sure if I like this detailing, though I think the shape is nice. In real life, these mold injection pieces are always quite harsh, and I'm not sure if I like that. To me, they look like imperfections, even though I don't love that. I think the shape is nice, but I kind of wish it was achieved differently. Though maybe when I see this in real life, I'll feel differently. I'm not entirely sure yet. I do like this shape here with these sort of like very flat round pieces. I think that's very satisfying. But then we're obviously talking about why does this need to be medium nougat? Where is this colour coming from? Why is this brown? There's too many colours. We're gonna have to set on one colour a bit more because it's, though they all tie back all over the set, because there's so many, it's still very busy, and to me it's too busy. Here is the minifigures. So we're getting the little rat. We've seen him a million times before. We're getting a, I mean, I know there's a second one, but we're getting a white dove slash pigeon. We're also getting a grey pigeon, I think, or at least I've seen him in pictures. Some pretty standard figures in my opinion. They're alright. We're getting 2 band kits, but like, I could take that or leave it really, and just like a very standard like shopkeeper. So the minifigures are like adequate is probably the most alright word for it. Like they're cute. They're nothing special. Oh, look at this really beautiful interior of the music instrument store. We have all these brick-built trumpets and trombones, and they look really impressive. But at the same time, I think it's nice that they're brick-built, because otherwise that would be a bit boring if they weren't. Look, the apartment. First thing I noticed, oh my god, this chair, awesome. This chair is beautiful. I really like it with the yellow, but also like, look at like the unicorn tail that they use, sort of really nice arm handles. Love it. I think that's beautiful. It looks small. I love that the toilet is in like the most visible place of the entire apartment, but it's kind of funny at the same time. The wall looks very plain and boring, but it looks like a fun build. It looks very angled. They haven't really got much to say about it. It's just yay. I think this looks really good. I'm excited that we're getting a little bit of a rooftop garden, and the roof is utilised, so yeah, very cute. Here we have a picture that I always love when they include, but in a weird way it does help me because it does kind of give a better idea of scale. Just an average size modular. I quite like that, it's a bit taller. I just really want to put it next to our modulars, and I've taken most of them apart, so I now have to rebuild some, I feel. What a beautiful in situ space in a way that nobody was gonna ever display this. Also, I think they need to still paint this this wall. However, and this door actually, so clearly they didn't finish painting this house. How shabby chic of them. Anyway, here's some more pictures of the minifigures. Very nice setup, very nice lighting actually. I really like these pictures. I think they're very well set up. They're just fun to make fun of a little bit. Sorry, person that put a lot of effort in. Alright figures, not much else to say about it. This is such a great way to look at the shape of that floor. Look at how cool the shape is. I'm really excited about that. That's a really cool shape of the pavement. I mean, you can see that it kind of goes in steps, and then there's a pavement around, but there's very little at the back here. So if you wanted to, I guess you could extend that pavement. This is a technique here that I feel like I've seen in Ninjago sets. This is very modern Lego to me, and I'm excited to see that in a modular. I think, yeah, the shape is the biggest selling point to me. I think it's really cool. I want to build this so much. Cute. I really like this sign. It's beautiful. Obviously it's meant to be a print, so that's cool. There's brick sills. There's a few quite cute prints in here, so I'm very excited. I love this design of the lights, or at least the top bit. That's really cool with the spear recoiler. This like basic was it fire hydrant, to me always looks a bit take it or leave it. Didn't need to be that. As you can see, there is like the plumber man can work on the plumbing. Fun little detail. Again, feels very Ninjago. In a very good way. Beautiful in situ. People do not display your books back to front. Really just not practical. I really do like that they took a picture of all of the modulars together. I do really like the colours together. It definitely ties some of the colours of the more recent modulars together, like the dovecot really ties in that roof section here. Like, it does really feel very thoughtful about like the colours that they chose and the old models that we've had and tying them together, so it feels like a cohesive whole. And I actually think looking at the 3 together, even though they're not in a row, which makes it harder to say, I do think it makes me like the new one better, because it does really feel like it's part of that set, but at the same time, on its own, it feels a bit busy. but it makes more sense as part of a collective, if you know what I mean. And you get to see like a really good little close-up of the like, not close-up because it's very zoomed out and I don't know how to zoom further in, but it's a very cute victory car hat parade, which actually, I know it's really silly, and this is, I'm gonna go into this and actually right now because it makes sense. This is the gift for purchase you're going to get when this comes out. It's gonna come out January 1st for VIPs as usual. I love the hat parade, but I also don't love the price of this set, and I'm probably still gonna buy day one because I want the hat parade because I love all the vintage cars. I'm such a sucker. I'm so the perfect person to sell all this stuff to. I know. It's embarrassing. Back in the box, so here we do see them sort of more together. I think if you put it next to the Natural History Museum, it makes the Natural History Museum a bit too puny. And considering the Natural History Museum is meant to be quite impressive, I think in this row, it's not my favourite layout. I know that we're going to see plenty of articles where we're going to see different configurations, and I would like to see those. But yeah, I do think that this is too tall to sit next to the Natural History Museum. But I've said this before, and that's why I mocked this slightly in a different way. I've always thought that the Natural History Museum ought not to be connected either side to a modular, because it doesn't feel right for it to be connected, because it feels too short then. But also, even if you made it taller, I think it needs the space to breathe on either side. I want 2 alleyways either side of the Natural History Museum because I think it just needs that in order to really come into its own, and then the street can continue either side. So I probably will have Natural History Museum, Tudor Corner, and then this one, which is also the order in which these have come out. That is all the pictures, so we'll just go back to the first one that we talked about. It's nice. There is several small things that I want to change about it. The bigger thing that I want to change about it, however, is the price. I'm not a huge fan that the price is £30 over, like, it just, I don't want it to be over 200. I'm not a fan of this. Am I upset? That's a very strong word. It's plastic bricks, not really. I'm not really upset, but I really wish it was still £200. I really don't want these modulars to keep going up. I feel like I want it to be £200 very strongly. I'm probably going to use points to try and get it lower. I'm gonna want to buy it on January 1st, like the absolute little follower that I am, because I do really love myself a building, and I like buying it on January 1st because I'm still off for a few days, so I actually get to build it straight away, because sometimes when I buy a set I don't actually have time to build it for like a really long time, and that makes me sad because then it just sits there. So I kind of want to actually buy it so I can, on January 1st, so I can actually build it straight away. That makes me just very happy, because if I were to wait for a discount, it's probably, I'm gonna have to wait for it, and then I'm gonna have to also wait to build it even after I purchased it, and it's just a bit of a letdown. And I quite like that experience of like going to the store on January 1st and purchasing the modular to start the new year, and you know how dedicated I am to that. Like, I literally was recovering from major surgery last year, like the beginning of this year, and I still went out to the shop, and then I had to recover for the rest of the day, so I couldn't even build straight away because I was too exhausted from even doing that. So I'm quite committed to this, I would say. So I will probably be getting this January 1st, let's be honest. Realistically, I'm gonna be in that queue on January 1st. I can't kid you. I think that you're welcome to judge me for that, but it's worth it to me. It's like a little outing. As with any set, I think generally you change your mind a little bit when you build it, because it's always just so different when you actually have it in your own space. It's not my favourite modular, I don't think. Very busy, but I do think it makes much more sense as a whole. Then there's actually a few sites that I usually like checking if I have questions about certain Lego sets that aren't super opinion based. I tend not to read them. I'm really awful, sorry. But there's a few that I like checking, especially one, which I'm going to show you now, which is New Elementary. I think they are a really great resource, but they always do really good in-depth pictures and things about new Lego sets coming up. Here is a picture of the Dove and what they look like. But these are some of the recolors, which is cool to see. So we've got this like piece. I don't actually think I have that piece. It's obviously very similar to the handlebars that you used to get, but without the handlebar connection in the middle. I didn't actually realise that these are printed windows. I thought that was the only printed window, so that's really cool. These look really pretty. That does mean that taking the reddish brown, or at least this looks reddish brown to me, away makes it a bit harder, but they look very nice. My favourite signs, they're really cute. I like them very, very much. Obviously love this hat, this new minifigure. That's very cute. I have nothing with like band. Band feels like a very American thing to me. I associate like bands like that, like marching bands with America a little bit, I think, because you see them in movies and stuff. Some nice tall, massive bricks. We used to get, not, well actually at this point it is quite long ago. A little while ago we had the 1x6, 1x4, 1x2 or 1x1 sand green on the walls. It's nice to get some 1x8s because that's been a little while. This is another website that I like to check. They have a little bit too many ads in my opinions, but it is what it is. I don't have ad blocker. What an unprofessional person I am. Anyway, so they were talking about upscaling it. You can make it much taller. I'm not a person that loves upscaling in this sense. I always think that's a bit boring. I think it looks cool with like the 2 floors above. So yeah, that's kind of like all my opinions in a super messy way, but kind of just the thoughts that I have when I'm looking at it. I'm hoping that it was entertaining for you to watch me talk about it. I'm obviously going to make a vlog about this because I'm very excited. There's also some figures that are coming out, the new CMFs. I'm so excited about those. They're so cute. I quite like when LEGO invests in like the costumes. I really love the costumes ones. I'm a huge fan of the frog and the fish. The fish is just so derpy, it's the best. So I'm probably going to be getting those as well. I don't really know where this budget's coming from yet, but that sounds very normal. So hopefully you guys want to come along. Thank you so very much for watching. I really like talking to you guys. I hope you like the format. I hope it made any sense. It's obviously the first time I've done it, so I can probably improve, like finding out how I can zoom in. So probably in my post-editing magic, I will add some images and make it bigger so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. Goodbye. Bye. Howdo. And a Merry Christmas.